So last night I was, just scrolling through social media, and I was, watching these, people, talking about, certain scripture. And then it just recently hit me like I might do maybe, or at the very least, I might do something um, to kind of, because I'm starting to see it's almost like the church is starting, or God's people rather, is starting to take scripture out of context a little bit. And so I just, that's the reason why I'm kind of on here, kind of try to help the church, you know, go back to, you know, understanding the context of, the texts in the Bible, scripture in the Bible and what it says, because it's very easy to take it, out of context. And so, especially a lot of the things that the apostles, talk about, like, the apostle Paul and Peter, and even Peter wrote that many take what Paul wrote out of context. Like, they twist, like many twist what, Paul is saying. And, like even he, says that in one of his um, writings. Um, and I'm not really gonna say. I will say it would have been a Christian artist, but I'm not gonna like say the name of that Christian artist. But I just, like, I don't know, like, what devotion they're reading, or what church they, or where they're, getting, their, information from. But it really sounded like they were, taking scripture, out of context. And so one of the scriptures was um, First Peter 3, verse 3 through 4. So I'm going to read 3 and 4, and then go back up and read verses 1 and 2. Because really that's what you need to do anyways, is before, to understand, some scriptures, to understand, you have to go to the scripture above. And so that's what we're going to do. Because they, first of all, before I get started, they were, saying how, women oftentimes, like, they, dress up, and saying like, well, it's not about the outward appearance, it's about, that's, partly true, but I'm gonna, show you something. We're gonna go a little bit deeper to show you a deeper meaning. Because, yeah, like, part of it is yes, like, it kind of is to do with the inward appearance, rather. Like, it's not to do anything with the outward appearance. It's rather the inward appearance. So that's correct, but it's not, necessarily for, what Peter is saying. And if you're doubting me, stay with me. We're going to, figure this out. In 1 Peter 3, verse 3, don't be concerned about outward beauty of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, or beautiful clothes. you should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. So that's, kind of what they were saying was, it's not the outward appearance. But wait, let's go up to verses 1 and 2. In the same way, you wives must accept the authority of your husbands. Then, if some refuse to obey the good news. So he's saying, if some of your husbands refuse to obey the good news, your godly lives, meaning the way that you live your life, will speak to them without any words, meaning like how you live your life. The inside reflecting how the outside looks. Because how many do you know that like to dress themselves up on the outside, but on the inside, it does not resemble what you see on the outside? And here, Peter is saying, if you have a husband that does not worship the Lord, it's not, what they see from the outside. It's what they see on the inside. It's you getting down and worshiping the Lord. Because what you do in secret is going to be revealed in the light. So if you if you go to your secret place, it's going to shine bright for others to see. And so what Peter is saying here is like he notices that women often like to dress very, very nice. They like to, curl their hair, wear all this makeup, and wear these nice clothing to get people to recognize them. Even to, maybe perhaps get you to believe that they worship the Lord. And here Peter is saying, it's not looking nice. People don't see that you worship the Lord by dressing up all fancy and trying to look nice. Because you can do that. You can make your whole outside look like you're somebody that is trusted, somebody that people can trust, right? But that's not what it's about. It's about them seeing what's on the inside that counts. And so Peter he's telling the women, hey, you can dress all fancy and nice and everything to, try to get people to see that, oh, you're a Christian woman, but that's not what makes you a Christian woman. That's not what makes you a believer of God. That's not what people see. People, it's like I said earlier, when you go to the secret place and you pray to the Lord in your secret place, that is sooner or later, that's going to be the very thing that is going to be highlighted on the outside for people to see. So that's what he's saying. That's what he's speaking about.